Good evening. Hello, everyone. I hope you are enjoying your dinner. Of course, it sounds like you are definitely enjoying your conversation, and we are so grateful for that. Please continue to enjoy your dinner, but if you can kind of wrap up your thought now, we do have a really beautiful program to share with you. And again, good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us for Ebenezer's third annual mission event, Etching Our Future in Stone. It is a beautiful event, and we are so grateful that each of you is here tonight. My name is Carla Holt. I am the founder of So Many Goodbyes, the host of the Hello Alzheimer's podcast, and a journalist for Care 11. I've been here for a few years as a broadcast reporter, so that may be how some of you may know me if you watch local news. But most importantly, I am honored to serve as your MC for this beautiful night and on behalf of this wonderful, wonderful organization. And joining me on the stage is a couple of leaders from that very organization, beginning with the fabulous Ebenezer president and CEO, Brett Anderson. Please join me in welcoming Brett.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, thank you. We'd like to start with a thank you to our milestone sponsor, Oppidan Investment Company, for their generous support tonight and all of the great work you do to support the Ebenezer mission. So thank you, Oppidan. And for about the next hour and 45 minutes, I'd like to invite Reverend Chris Beckman to speak to our mission moment. Reverend Chris.
Todd knows I get paid by the minute, by the words, so I'll send you the bill, Todd. Just a brief mission moment to start our program tonight. I wonder how many of us were touched when we saw Archbishop Hebda from the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Minnesota. We've worked some with Archbishop Hebda and the Archdiocese in providing places for the deacons to gain experience in pastoral care. But I was touched when Archbishop Hebda brought letters from the school children to Pope Leo from Annunciation Catholic Church. You probably know that a lot of our sites have child cares, and so many of us were thinking of the children and our own child care children. But what you probably don't know or don't remember is that not only were there children at that church during that terrible time, but there were elders as well, including 2 elders from our own community, one of our senior co-ops. What I was struck by is that 2 days after the shooting, we did a community gathering. And one of the residents who was there at that day actually came and was with us. And he spoke movingly, and we offered prayers for the residents, prayers for the kids. When it came time for my time to speak, I struggled to figure out what kinds of words to use for inspiration and support. Part of me was glad that our elders were there at that day. Was I grateful that they were there, inspired? You see, all of us know that those kids are going to go back to school, that those kids will go back to church. And I'm very glad that our elders were there with them, that they will be there with them to provide care and support, and to model for those kids that this is not the only story, and that they will be able to survive and even thrive. I hope you pick up one of our calendars for 2026. There are 3 words on the front: hope, resilience, and gratitude. And the middle word, resilience, might be the most precious of all commodities. You see, those elders who were there that day, when they go back to church, when they helped support those kids, will be modeling a life of resilience. Part of the joy of us working with our elders is that every day we get to witness and to be a part of their resilience that they model for us each and every day. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Chris, for that mission moment and for your support of all of our residents and team members every single day. We appreciate you very much. I'd like to start tonight's program by properly introducing the executive leadership team at Ebenezer. And this team, not only instrumental to our success and growth, but also instrumental as partners to me in my first year plus at the organization. And I have appreciated the opportunity to work with this group, not only to meet the challenges of healthcare and senior living every day, but have a little fun along the way as we do it. And so as I call your name as a member of this team, please just stand up and wave. First, Brendan Bannigan, our Director of Philanthropy. Brenda Johnson, our Vice President of Operations. Brenda. Michelle Blankenship, our VP of Marketing and Communications in the back there. Julie Thurn, our Chief Nursing Officer. Nadette Wallagora, our Director of Homeowner Associations. And Todd Willett, our CFO. Really, truly, thank you to this team for your hard work and your dedication to Ebenezer. I appreciate the team, the culture that we're building together, and appreciate your support of me in my first year. So thanks for putting up with me, Brendan. And now I'd like to introduce Brendan to talk a little bit more about Ebenezer. Brendan.
Thanks, Brett. So as Brett said, I'm Brendan Bannigan. I'm the Director of Philanthropy for the Ebenezer Foundation. And here at Ebenezer, we work every day to provide healthy, happy, and living environments for the seniors that we serve every day. So for those who may not know, there's over 10,000 seniors that Ebenezer serves every single day. So I wanted to thank everyone here tonight for supporting that work. The money that we raise tonight goes and supports our lifelong learning programs. Also supports the memory care activities that we do, as well as supporting our employees. And speaking of employees, I want to take a moment right now to thank our amazing Ebenezer staff. There's many of them here tonight, so I just want to take 1 second and ask all of our Ebenezer staff who are here tonight if you could please stand, and we want to recognize you and thank you for all your hard work. Thanks very much, and I just want to remind everyone that you can still bid. So, thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Brendan. At this time, I also want to take an opportunity to thank our board of directors. It's no easy feat trying to supervise me, and this group does a fantastic job in that regard, but they certainly do more than that. They give of their time and their talent and their treasure. I appreciate their counsel, their strategic direction, the opportunity for robust conversation that we have in the boardroom, and like the executive team, a little fun along the way. And so as I call your name and recognize our board members, please stand as well so we can recognize you. And our board members are Ken Ashton Piper. I know Ken is here. There you go. Thank you, Ken. Susan Carlson Weinberg and James Hereford and Rob Grumman. Thank you, Rob. Carolyn Jacobson, Gail Kvenvold, Mark Landreville, Margie Melius. Mark. Kirk Nybakken, Bob Walker, and our board chair, Scott Werdelman. Thank you all for your dedication and support to Ebenezer. I know your work and your service means the world to the leadership team and to all the folks that we serve across the organization. So now I'll turn it back to Carla.
I want to just add my gratitude to all of those leaders who were just introduced. Thank you so much for giving your time and your talents to this mission. It is truly a mission. And every Ebenezer staff member, thank you for what you do day in and day out. I hope you feel the appreciation that you have from all of us. So again, thank you. Yes, do, please, thank you for that. We also want to recognize the amazing sponsors who are here tonight and have made tonight possible, beginning again with the milestone partner, Opidin, for their remarkably generous contribution. Thank you to Opidin. We also, go ahead, please, thank you. We also thank our Firestone and Capstone sponsors, and we thank our Cornerstone sponsors. Thank you to the Keystone sponsors. We appreciate what you have done to make tonight possible as well. And thank you to our table sponsors. And thank you as well to our contributors, each and every one of you who have made, again, tonight possible and continue to support this mission. We offer our sincere gratitude for your generosity. And at this point, let's go ahead and give one more round of applause for all of those sponsors. And again, you can think you're applauding yourself, because being here tonight makes you a contributor as well. So the mission tonight, the event, of course, is called, again, Etching Our Future in Stone. And to that point, I will just say that Ebenezer, as a community and as an incredible force for good in our community, etched its imprint on my heart over the years. I have shared quite a bit over the last decade about my dad, Robert or Bob Holt. He was the classic Minnesotan, a Swedish St. Paul East Sider. Anyone from the East Side? East Side? Thank you. A hockey player, a golfer, a fisherman, an incredible human who was a dedicated 3M'er and community leader who gave generously to his community, his church, and his family. He was, in short, my person. The father who offered advice and guidance at every crossroads of life. He supported me at the track meets, the speech tournaments, at the tennis matches. He was there for my graduations or for my new jobs. He was the father who boarded a red-eye flight in order to get to New York City to help his heartbroken daughter at the end of her graduate school education and after a broken engagement. It was hard, it really was. But the father who was there for me, he also then later toasted at the wedding that did happen, his 3 pieces of advice: to be kind, be kind, be kind. Again, my dad was my person. And like so many people in the world, maybe even in this room, I watched and had to say so many goodbyes to my dad during his final marathon, his Alzheimer's marathon. The course of this cruel disease honestly challenged my family at every single milestone as we slowly lost my person. But we did have moments of light and hope and help. Moments like when we moved my dad to the Ebenezer community in my hometown of Forest Lake. The Ebenezer staff there welcomed and cared for my dad every single day and showed him the respect and dignity every person deserves at every chapter of their lives. And the Ebenezer staff even heard from the family, advocate family that we were and continue to be, when we had some thoughts about how to reach my dad before and beyond the dementia. Bottom line, in walking alongside my dad and all of us the Ebenezer team gave all of us, and especially my mom, who was the life partner turned primary care partner, the amazing gift of being truly present, being able to be present in her role as wife and in my role as daughter, as my dad finished his Alzheimer's marathon. So yes, Ebenezer etched its imprint on my heart throughout those years and to this day, as this community cared for my dad so lovingly and with such respect, by also inadvertently following his own advice to be kind, be kind, be kind. So I really truly mean it when I thank this community for all you do every day when you show up in your care communities and in your leadership roles. It means so much, and it gives to families like mine all of what we need to walk alongside our loved ones. And it's because of this gratitude that I am absolutely honored to introduce you all to tonight's awardees who have given their time and their talents to Ebenezer. Our first award tonight goes to United Properties. United Properties has properly and actually really proudly supported Lauren on Park, a low-income assisted living community, through ongoing donations and hands-on improvements. And we know those hands-on improvements are the key to making every person feel seen. Each month, United Properties has funded a courtesy cart stocked with essential household and personal items. And we also know, if you've had any connection to this stage of life, how important that is. They've renovated everything that they need there, and they've made sure that the laundry rooms at Lorna Park and the staff lounge, for that matter, are up to par. They've donated furniture, which has been used to also furnish individual rooms as well as common spaces when the residents did not have their basic needs met. And they even stepped up in a moment of critical need when United Properties heard that Lauren on Park was closing. The team put together relocation bags, isn't that amazing, and very thoughtful, for every resident. Bags that included new towels, shower curtains, blankets, and gift cards, all of which helped ease the transition for every single resident. And with that, we congratulate Carla Carlson, excellent first name, Carla, on behalf of United Properties on being this year's Outstanding Philanthropic Partner. Congratulations, United Properties.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. And you even spell it right, with a K.
I know, thank you.
Well, I am honored on behalf of United Properties to be accepting this award from the Ebenezer Foundation tonight. United Properties has been proud to partner with Ebenezer for more than a decade. And together, we've built communities that demonstrate care, respect, and purpose. That partnership has extended beyond business, and it has grown into a shared commitment to the people who call our communities home. Our work with Lauren on Park has been one of the most meaningful expressions of that commitment. Whether it's providing some of the things that Carla mentioned just a moment ago, or providing, holiday gifts to the hardworking staff that work tirelessly to ensure that the seniors that reside in an Ebenezer community are receiving the best possible care. Each act reflects what can happen when organizations align, not only in mission, but in heart. And while Lauren Park is now closed, that transition has opened new opportunities for us to support the mission of the Ebenezer Foundation and continue to make an impact where it's needed most. For us, giving isn't about charity, it's about community. It's how we acknowledge our shared responsibility to one another. We are deeply grateful to Ebenezer for leading with compassion and for the opportunity to stand beside you in this work. This award is not just a reflection of what we've done together, it's a reminder of what's possible when business and service unite for the common good. Now, don't forget, I think the auction is like wrapping up in 15 minutes. So get those last minute bids in and let's raise some money tonight. So thank you very much.
Now we'd like to present a video of Joe Hognander explaining our next honor, the Reverend Lars Lund Living Our Legacy Award, created and named after his grandfather.
My history with Ebenezer goes back to my grandfather, Lars Lund, who immigrated from Norway to Minneapolis and studied at Augsburg, graduated, I think it was 1911, and was ordained, assigned to a small church as a sort of a roving minister. After many years, and I was in my birth, he went to work for Ebenezer. And during those years, helping out, getting residents situated and feeling comfortable within the home and taking care of their needs. So my mother, my grandmother, and me would spend a lot of time meeting with the residents and going around passing out little Christmas gifts and things of that sort. It's kind of almost like a family affair. So my connection to Ebenezer has been long and very meaningful one. I wanted to recognize my grandparents, in particular my grandfather, and support the mission. We think it's very vital and very good. Their actions have great impact on their patients, on their fellow staff members, and on the organization as a whole. So hopefully it will benefit all three of those areas.
Our recipient this year is the Reverend Bruce Peterson, who's with us tonight. And it might be tempting to read from Bruce's resume, but we would be here all night. He's had 60 plus years of ministry, nearly 40 of those with Ebenezer and Fairview. He was the corporate chaplain for Ebenezer, and he helped lead the Fairview Association of Congregations. And he just retired last year, the second or third time at the age of 91. Which, Bruce, that's setting the bar awfully high for the rest of us. I was hoping to retire by 70, but now we have a longer path. Just a couple of short anecdotes that will tell you a little bit about Bruce's story. When we opened York Gardens a number of years ago, we didn't have a chaplain at the time. There was no budget probably, and we didn't have enough residents right away. So Bruce stepped in, and he was already in his 80s, probably about the same age as some of our residents. And it's that model of servant leadership that many of us who he hired, many of us who he modeled care for, we continue to lead and follow his example. But maybe a more humorous one before we bring Bruce up. Bruce told me a story, I don't think he told it in confidence, but he told me that one time he was getting in his car and he was late. And late for a funeral, late for an Ebenezer meeting, I don't know which one it was, but there was an ice storm. And Bruce was stuck behind many, many cars trying to get onto the highway to his meeting or funeral. And so he jumped into the sane lane. But there was only one person in Bruce's car. So imagine the next day, and remember Bruce is a trained ethicist, He called the DMV. Or he called the police. Maybe he called both to self-report himself. Now imagine being on the other end of that conversation. Hello, this is the Reverend Bruce Peterson. I'm the corporate chaplain for Ebenezer. I'd like to self-report myself. Bruce is kind, he's compassionate, he's a servant leader, and he certainly is ethical. Please join with me in welcoming the Reverend Bruce Peterson, the winner of the Lars Lund Living Our Legacy Award. Bruce.
First, I'd like to say thank you for this honor, and it's deeply appreciated. Thank you. In preparation for tonight, I was reflecting quite a bit this last few weeks on my life. And I wanted to mention first one other person. And her name was Nancy Catherine Peterson. Nancy Catherine Coons, actually. And she's the woman that I asked down at St. Olaf if she would marry me. And we had 63 years together until about 2.5 years ago, Mother's Day. And I give her some credit for this award because she believed in me in sometimes in ways that I didn't even believe in myself. And she helped open doors for me that led to where I am. So I think of her. There's a second woman I'm thinking of. And her name is Carolyn Onyum, the deaconess who had vision of what to do about a crisis of hunger, a crisis of people who had come to the end of their life and could no longer work, a crisis of health, people in their senior years, filling the churches, immigrants, Norwegian immigrants. What to do about it? It was a crisis. And somehow or another, this woman and other leaders got together, pulled together pastors, not from one Lutheran church body, but from 6. They kind of blew the organizational structure apart and said, what can we do? And then they gathered the business people in the churches, and they met at Dayton Sky Room week after week until they figured out what they could do together. And when they established the first board of directors, they reached into all the churches, all the church bodies. They kind of blew out all the boundaries and said, let's do it together. Let's be a team. When I came to Ebenezer, it was in a crisis. And there were all kinds of empty desks. And Kent Eklund and Mark Thomas, another team, I watched them create a death or something that had been almost a death, and it became a resurrection. New life for this organization. And we've seen it more than once. The amazing leadership. The third thing I think about is the fact that when Nancy came down with Parkinson's, 12 years before she died, about 2.5 years ago, we found our way to Tower Light, and I experienced firsthand what this mission is. For 12 years, she spent 8.5 years in a wheelchair. And every few hours, there was a knock on the door. 2 people would come in. And the compassion that we talk about was personally demonstrated. And for that, I am eternally grateful for this organization. Thank you.
Thank you again, Reverend Bruce. I had the opportunity to have lunch with Reverend just a couple weeks ago, and it was one of the most engaging meals I have ever had, and would have loved. We should do lunch more often, because I think I scraped just the surface of all of the stories and the wisdom that you have to share, Reverend Bruce, but thank you so much for what you have meant to Ebenezer. We very much appreciate you. Tonight, as we come together to celebrate Ebenezer's legacy, I am reminded that its real strength has never been about buildings or budgets. It has always been about people. It's the residents whose stories bring life to every single community that we have. It's the caregivers who show up day in and day out with compassion and purpose. Ebenezer is built on relationships, on the human connections that remind us what care truly should feel like. At its core, Ebenezer's mission is simple, but it's powerful. Helping older adults live with dignity, purpose, and joy. And in a time we find ourselves in now, where the basics, like housing, food, and care, can feel uncertain for many whom we serve, Ebenezer is standing firm in its belief that every person deserves to be seen, valued, and cared for as a whole human being, regardless of your ability to pay. That belief shines through in so many of our programs, like our lifelong learning program, where residents can stay curious, they can be creative, and they can be connected at every age. Earlier this summer, we had a resident in for our art show. I think she had well into her 80s, had spent some time homeless, now living in one of our skilled nursing communities, had just found a love of art. And I'll tell you, she was pretty darn good at it too. But those programs are keeping everyone connected, whether it's through lectures, art workshops, or intergenerational collaborations. It's just the spark that lives in all of us. Our friends at the McPhail Center for Music bring that spark through their choirs, music therapy, and performances that bridge generations. It rekindles memories, it sparks joy, and it reminds us that learning and living never really ends. Over the past year, I've seen that heart of Ebenezer's mission. And it isn't just reflected in the lives of our residents, it's also in the lives of the folks that care for them. Caregivers, nurses, housekeepers, activity directors, dining staff, you name it, top to bottom across the organization, all of those folks pouring their patience, their energy, and their love into this community every single day. Without them, there just simply would not be an Ebenezer. And when those same staff members face hard times, Ebenezer stands by them. We offer micro grants for groceries, transportation, and other essentials when public programs, especially right now, can't fill the gap. These quiet acts of care make sure that the people who give so much of themselves are never left to face that struggle alone. And that's what your generosity makes possible. When you give tonight, you're investing in a community that refuses to let compassion be cut from the budget. You're helping older adults keep learning, creating, and connecting, and making sure those who care for them have the support that they need when they need to do this very sacred human work. So please, you already have most of the night, but I'm going to ask you to continue to join me tonight in building a brighter, more compassionate future together. So will you please give? I encourage you, if you haven't had the opportunity yet, please take out your phones right now. You can open your camera. So yes, reach into your pocket, grab the phone. It's the audience participation portion of the program. Scan the QR code on the screen or on the back of your program to donate to our foundation. There's also a donor card in your registration packet if you prefer to donate offline. And you can also find a number of the JMA staff who are walking around. If you need assistance, they're waving their hands in the back and all around. But when you please give your gift tonight, or if you already have given, please take these little fun things on your table. Oh, Mark Anderson, I can see you. You are ahead of me, sir. Crack them open. Light this room up green if you've given. Wave those glow sticks around at your table. Let's fill this room with some light and joy and generosity. Crack them open, folks. Wave them around. Thank you. All right, here's Carla.
Okay, if you bought raffle tickets, did anyone out here actually do that? Did you buy a raffle ticket? Did you? Okay, so this is your opportunity to find out if you are the winner. So in fact, I believe it's coming our way. And as our friend Natalie makes her way to the stage, I just want to say again, Reverend Bruce, you're amazing. And also, Yaya, also a St. Olaf grad. So I loved that reference. I suspect there might be some other Olies in this audience. Not to make this an Olie versus Gustavus or Carlton or anything like that. I know. It's all good. But we have these raffle tickets at this point, and this is our opportunity to go ahead and draw the winner. So wait for it. So exciting. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is just do the number, because of course I'm going to say the number because there are no names on here. So 8, that's a 9, right? 898023. 898023. Do we have a winner? Yay! Congratulations. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Okay. Friends, you are all winners tonight. I hope you feel fully affirmed in your decision to spend your night here with this beautiful community. You are making a difference by being here and supporting the Ebenezer mission. All right, a couple quick notes for you, and then you can continue the conversations that are already starting. So just one more moment, if we can keep your attention for just one more moment. So please stick around to keep tabs on your auction items. So there are some amazing items. Make sure that you are bidding on those. The final bids, again, close at 8:30. I have no idea what time it is right now. Ooh, goodness. We're past that moment. Ooh. But at any rate, at this point, you'll know if you're the winner, in which case, what you need to do is just go ahead and make sure that you check out and receive, of course, your item. It's a win-win, once again, as you will walk away with those beautiful items and, again, support Ebenezer. You can also go to your phone and proceed to the lobby to pick up your winnings. Again, we're going to try to make this as easy as possible. There are a lot of people here who can help you along the way if you have any questions or concerns. And a reminder as well, please do not forget to check your key in the lock box. Remember that? Some of you picked some really cool keys. This is your opportunity to see if you actually get the prize. And that will be in the reception area to see if you are a winner. Okay, I can tell we're feeling festive and we want to celebrate this community, but one last thought. On behalf of the Ebenezer community, it is truly my honor to thank each and every one of you for your generosity and being in this room tonight. Thank you for supporting this community. Each of you is making a difference by being here. Thank you to the Ebenezer staff who show up every day and give back to our greater community. And again, as individuals here supporting that mission, thank you from my heart to yours. Thank you for living my dad's advice to be kind, be kind, be kind. Please enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you once again. We are united in this mission. Thank you for being here tonight. Quick reminder, thank you so much, Warren. One quick invitation that if you have a group gathered here tonight and you all look so beautiful, you have an opportunity to take a picture. Maybe you're here with as a couple, maybe you have several people in your group. Please go ahead to the lobby area at some point and take a picture as a group. The wonderful, talented photographer is circulating, and again, we can help you with that. Thank you again for being here.